Assalamu alaikum viewers, you're watching program Executives Forum and I'm your host Mahamarif Khwaja. You're watching it live from a higher education television channel. For live streaming, visit our website edutv.hec.gov.pk. You can also follow us on Twitter @edutv_HEC. And for latest content, do subscribe to our YouTube channel EduTV. Viewers, this program is specially designed to highlight the importance of industry-academia linkages. As we know, industry-academia linkage has a lot of benefits for universities, companies, societies, and nation. It promotes innovation, entrepreneurship, and it's very important for students for their career development and the growth of the country. We'll be having executives as guests from all across Pakistan. They're working in corporate sector and different industries. They will share their experiences. Let's welcome our guest for today, Mr. Asmar Atif. He's a chief entrepreneur, Octopus Digital at Avencion, co-founder, battle-tested consultants, AI strategist and design thinker, and also a gold medalist. Let's welcome him to the studio. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam, Maham. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please tell us about your journey so far.
It's a very open-ended question. And first of all, I'd again like to thank you very much for having me here today. And it's my first time, and after a long while, it's coming back to the university. Okay. So thank you very much. And it's a great campus. It's a great studio, and I think you guys have set up a great
thank you, sir.
Infrastructure to do mass communication. Your question about my journey, I think I started off being a software engineer. I graduated as a software engineer. I specialized in PLC and DCS programming. I'm not very old, but it was almost 20 years ago, like 2004 and 5. And
Pakistan?
From Pakistan, yes. I graduated from Institute of Management Sciences from Pak Ames. But very soon after graduation, I realized, even though it was in computer science and software engineering, I realized that I hate working with machines and I love working with people. Okay. Then I joined Avencion group of companies back in early 2005. And I joined as a software quality engineer. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's been a humpy and bumpy ride. Avencion is, mashallah, Pakistan's largest and oldest publicly listed engineering and automation company.
It's in Middle East also.
It's a multinational, and it's in 5 different geographies. Mm-hmm. It's in Pakistan, in Middle East, in North Africa, and also in the US. So, and it's publicly listed, as I said. So it's one of the best stocks to invest into, and that's our history for the last 7 years. So that's how I started off in software department in Avencion, and since then it's been a humpy and bumpy ride. Mm-hmm. It's been never looking back.
So you are not in Pakistan right now?
Oh, I was based in Dubai before for the last 8 to 9 years, but for almost a year and a half I've moved to Pakistan because we are launching our new subsidiary company, Octopus Digital, the company that I'm lucky enough to lead. So that's why I'm
could you
based in
tell
Lahore.
us something about the Octopus Digital? What is actually?
Octopus Digital is a wholly owned subsidiary of Avencion. And the business of Avencion, it's very important to understand that in order to understand how the transition to Octopus Digital took place and what Octopus Digital does. In short, Octopus Digital provides end-to-end digitalization services for manufacturing and process industry. Okay. We all hear about Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and all that stuff. So what we have done in Octopus Digital is to demystify the whole AI thing for manufacturing and process industry. Now, the business of Avencion has been for the last 20 to 25 years is turnkey project-based automation and engineering, again for manufacturing and process. So we thought 3-4 years ago that we need to just have a breakout strategy for our own company and develop something built on the successes that Avencion has achieved, and then develop something for the market where the market demand is also coming. That's Industry 4.0 and digitalization. So the whole business model in Octopus is totally different from Avencion. And some say in our company that it's self-cannibalizing to Avencion. As Jeff Bezos said, that if you don't close down your own company yourself by creating something that if existed would put your business shut down. So that's the model of Octopus Digital is that the whole digital service stream is provided on a monthly subscription basis. So something that we have been doing as projects, like multi-million dollar projects, those things have gone now and have become the past. So the future is that you have a monthly subscription-based business model, and the go-to-market strategy is very simple for Octopus Digital, where we provide the digital dashboarding for our customers, the real-time intelligence, the real-time KPIs of what's happening on their plants, assets, and processes, and how they can improve and optimize efficiencies and improve their top and bottom line. So the Octopus Digital business model is on monthly subscription. It's on that the customers can jump start on digitalization. They can take on to a digital journey step by step and without spending any capex.
What
and
kind
all
of
that.
businesses consult with you?
Oh, our traditional customer base has been manufacturing and process industry. We're talking about some customers, but it's across the sectors. It could be power plant, it's water, wastewater,
Could be any
district cooling,
sector.
could be any sector, oil and gas, food and beverage, and all. But in different geographies where we operate as Avancion and Octopus, there are different sectors that we specialize in. In Pakistan, because we have a history for 30 years and we have served the customers, so we cut across all industry verticals. In the Middle East, we work very heavily in water, wastewater, district cooling, specialized infrastructures like rails and tunnels, and also a government sector.
Sounds
Whereas
interesting.
in the US, we work in food and beverage, in life sciences, metals, and pharmaceuticals. Again, in Pakistan, it cuts across all sectors. So because we think that the customers in Pakistan and all across, even in the geographies where we are present, but traditionally, because Pakistan is our market, is our home market, and we have invested quite a lot, and customers have reposed their trust also in us for decades. So we thought that it's the best way to serve Pakistan first, and that's why I moved to Pakistan. I was lucky enough to got this opportunity from Avancion, and I moved to Pakistan and I said the best thing is to give back to the country, and what best we can give it back other than to lead the digital transformation revolution in Pakistan.
That's commendable. How do you define success? Success is different from everyone's perspective. For me, success is something else, and for you?
It's again a very, very important question, and I think for the younger generation, because I understand that this talk is being aired live at HEC TV also. So I assume that there are many students who would be
So our audience is basically students.
students, exactly. So a lot of students might be listening to this. And I'll be very, very frank and open because as we were discussing earlier, we all are students. This industrial revolution, this digital era has sent everyone back to school. So I also spend 3 to 4 hours every day reading something. And when I see my bosses in the company, even our chairman of the board, I was talking to him just 10 minutes ago, like a while ago, Mr. Bakhtiar Hamid Wain, who started the company Avancion, who started Octopus Digital. It'll be unfair if I don't mention him. So Bakhtiar Saab is also, I've learned from him that either reading books or articles or formal education courses, something technical, something non-technical, that has been a phenomena of the day now. So we all have gone back to school. Now, this is very, very important for success. Now, coming back to your question, what does success mean to me in general? And as you said, everything in life is relative. So success is also relative. For me, success could be something else. For you, success could be something else also. So, but there are certain principles that stay constant, whatever success means to you or me. I think success, in my opinion, has got two perspectives. One perspective is the outwardly success, which is that what you do to other people or outwardly world. And for me, that is giving back to the people that you work with, maybe your team members in your business, giving back to the society, your own country in which you're operating. And I'll tie it back again to when we were discussing and launching our business plan for Octopus. So we thought, why don't we launch Octopus in New York or in London or in Paris? They are developed markets and we can go AI and manufacturing there. But then we realized that no, we started off in Pakistan. Pakistan is our market. Pakistan is our home. Why don't we go back and start in Pakistan? Although we will develop our learning and experience curve there, but we'll also be helping our customers in Pakistan to actually uplift them, and take them on a digital journey.
Yes.
So that's the outwardly success. You asked me, Asmar, if you're successful, if Octopus is successful, if Avancion is successful. I think we are very, very much successful because we are also planning to go for IPO. We are very, very much successful because we have already started giving back to our country, to our manufacturing customers who have reposed their trust on us for decades at Avancion. Now, that's the outwardly part of success. The inwardly part of success is more personal. It's more intellectual or philosophical, and that is...
It's your personal satisfaction.
It's a personal satisfaction. I think the best success is to become a good human being. And I know it's very cliched and it's easier said than done, but one of the aspects that I personally think one can be a good human being is, again, the topic that we touched earlier, is lifelong learning. If we are not learning, and if we are not self-improving through learning and increasing our intellectual capacity every day, we will lag behind.
So learning is a lifelong process. It ends when your life ends.
Exactly, absolutely. So that's what success means to me. The outwardly success is giving back to society and people and helping businesses and enterprises in whatever capacity you can do as a business, as an individual. And internally, it's very important to continue learning and to continue your intellectual growth and to take yourself forward as an intellectual human.
And how would you define failure?
Oh, failure is a very different connotation for me personally. I know many students. For many students, the
You
success.
haven't thought about failure.
I meet failure every. I think it's a matter of perspective. Looking at failure is a matter of perspective. I know a lot of students who are listening here. For them, success and failure is probably grades or passing exams or assignments, or maybe later on passing your degree and getting a good job. Trust me, that is for now. But again, it's relative. But I think failure for me is when you stop progressing intellectually, because everything starts from here. So whether success and failure, anything that happens to you, sometimes it's within your control, sometimes not. But something which is most important thing is your response to that. Whether you're responding or you're retaliating. So that defines success or failure to me. So it's two sides of the same coin, which means that if something bad happens to you and you don't think about it and then you retaliate, that is without thought. So retaliation is without thought. In that case, the chances of failure or you making a mistake and you breaking something is a lot. And if something happens to you, good or bad, and you think through it calmly and then respond, so that's not retaliation, that's
So
response.
basically, you learn after mistakes. When you commit a mistake, you even learn more better than.
Exactly. And what you said is, it's very true, because failures are very important in life as long as you learn from them.
Yes.
Success sometimes is a series of failure. As they say, that
Yes.
you are not failed until you stop trying. But something which is very important, it's also cliched, but something which is very important is that all your tries and all your failures are honest failures. And I'll give you an example. Have you ever realized that why Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley today? Why not any country in the world? China is progressing quite ahead in AI and technology and patents, but still China has not exactly replicated an innovation and startup ecosystem like Silicon Valley. So what is special in Silicon Valley that they are there where they are? I think the only thing that is really their crown jewel, apart from many other things, is that they incentivize asymmetrically honest failures. So if somebody fails honestly, they give him incentives.
Wow.
But it ought to be an honest failure. So I think, because until you try, if you're not trying something, and if you're not failing enough, and if you're not failing fast, which means you're not innovating, you're not creating anything, because nothing gets created right away. So you have to try, and try. And it took us 2.5 years in Octopus to come up with a picture-perfect business model and a go-to-market strategy, because we were not thinking. Everybody was talking about AI and Internet of Things and cybersecurity, but we were unable to kind of match initially with the requirements that are coming from the manufacturing industry, from our client base. So we did a lot of research, we did a lot of hit and trial, that what works, what doesn't work. And finally, it just clicked. So until as sometimes people say that fail early and fail fast, so that you're able to picture perfect in whatever you're doing. So that's very important. So failure, I can just request and advise the students that never worry about failure or success. They are just byproducts of something. They're just means to an end. So we think success and failure is an end. No, success and failure is a means to an end for you to become a better human being and a better professional and whatever role that you want to enjoy in your life. So the most important thing is to continue your journey honestly, be yourself, be honest to yourself, and just keep marching.
Things will go along with you. Okay, sir, what's the importance of industry academia linkages?
I think it is ultimately very, very important. It is as important and even a little more than when we talk about public-private partnership. Industry and academia have a huge gap. And fortunately or unfortunately, rather unfortunately, it's everywhere around the world. Whether you talk of developed markets, developing markets, underdeveloped markets. Industry and academia have a huge gap. And especially in our line of business, in our context, where artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and cybersecurity and big data and analytics, this is the norm of the day, and that's going to take things forward. It's very, very important that universities, academia, institutes, educational centers, they prepare our younger generation on this. Because even last night, I was just talking to a panelists on AI, and the topic was utopia or dystopia. Is AI still a pipe dream? So AI is not a pipe dream. AI is coming, whether narrow AI or a little bit of general AI, they're coming into every sphere of human life. So if our younger generation, and it's going to take away a lot of jobs also, but it's going to create a lot of jobs also. So if our universities and academia don't prepare students with the right skills for AI, it's not going to pull through. So we at Octopus Digital, at Avancian, we are creating a learning university also. And we have got rigorous program for our entrants and our employees, and we call them our team members and our builders of Octopus and all that. So we have a rigorous study program for them, and we call them a learning path. So that learning path includes cloud computing, it includes machine learning, it includes deep learning, it includes how user experience and user interface and customer journey has to be designed, how business intelligence has to be elaborated, how communication with the customer is very important, how we can use data and tell a story through the data and create value for our customers. So all that learning paths are covered at Octopus Digital. So in this, I think the academia also should come forward, should take its part, and I would really like to appreciate Lahore Garrison University here, that I think even through this interview, where academia and industry are sitting across the table and talking about the issues, I think it's a great, bold step that you guys have taken. And I really commend that and appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what's your stance on entrepreneurship? It's very important. And what are the qualities that an entrepreneur must possess?
To be perfectly honest, as much as I would like to call myself an entrepreneur, generally speaking, I don't fit well on that definition, because I can be an intrapreneur, because Octopus is and I will not lie here, I'll be honest, because Octopus Digital is a wholly owned subsidiary of a Avancian group of companies. But what I can tell you about entrepreneurship, even though I've studied that a couple of years ago in my MBA, I've just, but I think the biggest learning that I've had has been from a founder and chief executive officer of a Avancian group of companies, who started this company with almost zero private equity 30 years ago. Bakhtiar Hamid Wai. He's the founder of Avancian, and he's the father of the idea of Octopus also. He's soul behind this. I have seen him, at least for the last 16, 17 years since my career started in Avancian. And I think in entrepreneurship, there are two things very, very important. I know there are books and books written on entrepreneurship, there Wikipedia, Google, it's all filled with resources. And sitting with academia, I should probably talk less a little bit about entrepreneurship, because you would probably know much more. But from my practical experience, especially in the last 10 to 15 years with Avancian, I have seen our founder Bakhtiar, and so there are two things very important in this. One is ethics and integrity. There has to be no compromise on ethics and integrity, and no matter what happens. And we keep hearing stories about what happened in the early 90s and what happened in the late in somewhere around 2000, where Avencian group of companies had almost closed down 2 times just because that we were not willing to do any underhand dealing or under the table dealing with some agencies here. So our founder Bakhtiar, he refused right away that we will not give any. So and then, but see, today we are at the first thing is integrity and following ethics. And the second thing, which is very important, is a principle that he never said, but I've learned from him. And that's what I've applied on my management and leadership philosophy is also, which again I've learned from Bakhtiar, is that if you ever have to choose between being right and being kind, I'll just repeat for the students here. Some might disagree, but if you ever have to choose or come to a point where you need to choose between being right and being kind, always be kind. And that'll take you a lot far. So I think in entrepreneurship, this is very important because that feeds into team building, that feeds into creating value for your customers, that feeds into creating that interpersonal intimacy and touch that you ought to have with your team and with your customers.
Yes.
And with all the stakeholders around. So these two things, I know there are many things, but these two things, if you don't miss out on, so they are like the foundation of entrepreneurship. And then of course you have to have that passion, you have to have that vision, you have to believe in that, and all those things that we can read in the books.
Most of the people have vision, but they don't have resources. That's the major problem. Financial resources.
I think that's also very true, and that's where not just the industry academia linkages would come in, but also there has to be a lot of public-private partnership, and the government is also supporting to have that startup ecosystem developed in Pakistan. In the developed world, we have different incubators, and now in Pakistan also we have that startup culture that's popping up. The government is playing its part, and because I'm not a big fan of putting every blame on the government, I think government is doing much more than it possibly can, and they are trying their level best. I think the industry, academia, everyone in the society should come forward.
Yes.
The banks are giving loans to the incubators and startup ecosystems. So the whole idea is that the young budding entrepreneurs who are coming out of the universities who want to do something, they ought to have a solid idea. They ought to have a business plan around it, and they should be totally pregnant with that business plan. And then arranging for resources might be the least of the issue. Trust me, Maham. Because we think that sometimes, we don't have money, we don't have resources, we can't do anything, government is not doing enough, we are not getting jobs. All these could be genuine excuses. But the real thing is that do you have a unique and differentiated idea? Are you creating some value in the whole stream? And are you totally married to your idea? And then if you're done with all these basic ingredients, then looking for resources, they could be incubators, they could be banks that could lend you resources, whether time, energy, effort, and money. People would rally behind you to help you, but it's very important that you have to believe in yourself, in the idea that you're bringing. It should not be something like airy-fairy in the air and you bring to the table, that's your idea. So that's being honest to yourself and real to yourself and to your idea is very, very important.
Very important. Sir, talking about cybersecurity, what are the improvements required in Pakistan in cybersecurity?
I think I can talk a little bit about Octopus Digital in our business context, and then move to a more bigger level. Because we are handling with customer data, we are taking the data from manufacturing and process industry. We are processing it on the cloud, on Microsoft Azure cloud, because we partnered with Microsoft.
That's a huge responsibility.
Oh yes, exactly. So there are lots of security standards for data protection, privacy, and security for our customers. And there are about 136 ISO security protocols and privacy protocols that Microsoft follows, that we follow at Octopus Digital also, because it's a huge responsibility. And we tell our customers that these are all the standards, and we respect customers' digital rights also on their data. So we sign agreements with them, and we tell them that these are the security protocol that will guarantee your privacy and protection and the data you send to Microsoft Azure Cloud. So, and then the cloud has Microsoft has all the policies that are implemented on data, and also the cybersecurity challenges that may arise in the future. But for now, we assured our customers that as long as Microsoft is secure around the world, their data is also secure. But coming back to your question, which is more about in general in Pakistan, I think as they say, as we keep hearing the fifth generation warfare or asymmetric warfare, I think the future of economy and future of even competition is digital. And when it comes to digital, we are talking about not just a little bit of data or huge data. We are talking about big data, like a lot of data, and hence the importance of cybersecurity is there. So I think we, as a country, if I see this country as an enterprise, and I see this, that I think we need to do a lot of work in that. And I understand that there is yesterday even I had a online discussion with the head of Pakistan Cybersecurity Forum, and I think there are many competent senior people who are working on it. But I think this whole cybersecurity thing, we need to really invest time, energy, effort, and money into this to take it forward and to have those controls implemented. But with that said, I think this should go hand in hand with the overall digitalization effort that should move forward. The government's plan of Digital Pakistan is in the right direction. Yes. So it should go in tandem, simultaneously. So you have to digitalize different pieces of the economy and the whole stream of your financial sector, economic sector, and all that stuff, and education sector, and legal sector, all the sectors. And then, of course, side by side, doing it in a way that is cyber secure, following all the international standards. We have the knowledge, we have all the standards that ought to be implemented. The real challenge is that while we are setting the building blocks of digitalization in Pakistan, it's important that we set them right, following all the standards of security.
Okay, sir, what steps could be taken for creating a successful business model? You actually, I was going through your profile and you were about a business model.
I think this is also it's a $1 million question, and companies, in many big companies, are struggling with it. I'll give you again an example in our business context, which is that because everybody's talking about digitalization for manufacturing and process industry, and it started off 4 or 5 years ago, like everybody was hearing this buzzword, right? So we started hearing that many industries started changing. I'll give you an example, like insurance companies. Insurance companies, we started hearing insurtech. Many banks, we started hearing fintech. So what is fintech? Banks started hiring engineers, and banks started becoming technology companies. Mm-hmm. They became fintech. Insurance companies started hiring engineers. The big investment houses started hiring engineers and become insurtech. So, and then we have legal tech. Then we have ed tech. Then we have retail tech. So the tech is maybe a little sweet word for digital. So everything is becoming digital. So the important thing is, in this case, is that because the industry is changing and that stuff, so we also need to invest into building the capacities around that. So because this is something that we cannot stop. AI is something that we cannot stop. We have to embrace it. So that's very, very important, that we employ all our energies and embrace the AI and this transformation and change of the industries into tech.
Okay, sir. Your message for the startups, someone who want to start a new project or a new business, especially youngsters.
I think my message is going to be very, very simple, and it's not going to be a technical message. is going to be that stay honest and stay real to yourself. It is fundamental. It is of paramount importance that do what you believe in. And I know at certain times, maybe tactically, you might have to change course a little bit, but don't lose an eye, because if you don't believe in something genuinely, then you will not be authentic and credible doing it. You might do it with a half heart, or you might think that you're doing it with a full heart, but you will not be able to give your 100%. So that's why it's very important to be mindful of who you are and what you believe in. It might sound very, very airy-fairy to you right now, but I think give it a thought. When you sit down with yourself, everybody who is listening, the students, and try and figure out, what do you really believe in? What you love to do? What is your passion? What is something that you see yourself getting manifested in? And when you do that, you feel really purposeful and happy, so to speak. So once you identify that, then you will really excel and you can be a genuine, true, authentic entrepreneur. Otherwise, you can be successful also in terms of maybe money or building a successful startup or a business model. But unless and until you're giving your 100% by knowing who you really are and something that you're selling also, that thing also has to be that you believe in that thing that you're selling. You believe in the business idea that you're trying to create. You believe in the value that you're proposing to your customers. So that is very important. And if you stay honest with that, which means you're staying honest with your idea, which means you're staying honest with your own self, then nobody can stop you from excelling. Then that problem of developing a business model, then that ideas will come in automatically, because all your faculties, mind, body, and heart, will be unified into one direction, and your energies will be unified, and you have that laser focus, and you will achieve what you want to achieve. So that's fundamental. It's basic, it's deep, but it's fundamental. It's very important. Sometimes we miss it and we move on to other things, but later on we have to come back to this. So it's very, very important. Stay real, stay genuine, stay honest to yourself, and know what you believe in, and do that stuff. Implement that into your business model and your entrepreneurial idea.
In short, believe in yourself.
I think believing in yourself is very, very important, and knowing yourself also, that what you are passionate about. Is your heart really into it? Or you're just trying to be an entrepreneur because it sounds very sexy and you're trying to be copying everybody else, that you want to be an entrepreneur because it looks good? No. Do you really believe in the idea that you want to do business for and creating value for? Do you really believe in? And then start planning, and then everything will fall in line, and then the role of the universities are there, courses are there, so you can get all the training, education, knowledge. You can either do it in a university, and now things are changing, everything is available online, you can really learn. So knowledge you can acquire, but that burning desire and passion for your idea, you have to create that from within, and that happens when you know yourself and you believe in yourself.
Thank you so much for coming to the show, sir. You have given your precious time to us. We'll see you in our next program. Till then, Allah Hafiz.